Hi, thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to just take a few moments today to just talk with you about an amazing experience I had recently. It's related to my personal growth. So I'm hoping that my own story will help you and inspire you to continue to grow and just succeed at everything God has for you to do. So anyway, I was at a women's fellowship at the First Baptist Church of Glenarden, which is my home church, and my first lady was facilitating the meeting, and she said to us, "Turn to your neighbor and share with them how they could pray for you this week." Now, do you know how you think you're over something, but you're not really over it? So that day, as I turned to my friend Allison to share with her how she could pray for me, I knew that I had a specific issue that I was not over, and I really needed some help from God to get over it. So I turned to her and I said to her, "Allison, you know I've lost a lot of weight lately. I've become a vegetarian. I've lost 16 pounds, and that's really fantastic and great. But one of the things that I find a challenge as of late is that I've gone back into the same rut of checking my weight, curious about how much I weigh, concerned about how much I weigh, and worrying that I will gain weight." Now, when I first lost the weight, my concern was that I was too little and that people were really actually saying to me, "Ooh, you look like you're losing too much weight. You need to stop losing weight." Or so then I gained a few pounds. And when I gained a few pounds, all of a sudden I realized, oh no, I might gain all the weight back and I really like being this size. So really, weight and the amount of food I ate became more of a concern than it should have been. So Allison said to me, you know this is not about the food. And I'm like, duh, of course I know it's not about the food. I'm a psychologist. I didn't say that to her out loud, but it was a thought I had. But I knew she was right. I knew it was not about the weight. So they wrapped up the session, and she was like, "It's something I want to say to you, but I can't put my finger on it." And they had wrapped up the session, so we just kind of turned in our seats and just kind of sat forward. And then she turns to me and she says to me, "You know what? It's I know what it is. You don't view yourself the way God views you." And when she said that, it resonated with me so deeply that I just burst into tears. And I cried like nobody else was in the room. And I actually was kind of embarrassed because it was like that cry where you like shaking and your nose start running and you just can't stop. And I was on the end seat, and of course everybody could see me. And I know they were like, "What in the world is wrong with her?" But you know what? It was that cry that freed me that day from the idea that I have to be a certain way or I have to project a certain image to people. I really was freed that day. And it was such a relief to know that I was free. And when I came home that day, I just prayed to God and I said, "You know what? I know the whole idea of not viewing myself the way you do comes from somewhere, and I would really like to know where that comes from. But first, just let me know, what can I do to start really viewing myself the way you view me?" And the Spirit spoke to me so softly. It said, "Don't get on the bathroom scale anymore." And I was like, "That's it? Don't get on the scale?" But as I thought about it, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so true. Do not get on the scale, because really the scale had become an idol for me, and it really was telling me how I should feel for the day. So I would get on the scale, weigh myself, and if it said the right weight, I would feel great, and I would say something in my head like, "Ooh, yay, I'm looking great today, and I'm going to have myself an extra dessert to reward myself." Okay, that's craziness, but that's what I would do. And if I got on the scale and it said the wrong weight, I would think, "Oh my goodness, I've been watching my weight for nothing. I've been eating good for nothing. I'm just going to eat whatever I want to eat today because that'll make me feel better." And of course, it did not. So I knew how profound it was that the Spirit said to me, "Do not get on the scale." Because now, for the last week and a half, I have not weighed myself and I feel great. I have more confidence. I put my clothes on and I walk out the door, and I don't have the scale telling me how I should feel about myself. And each day I remind myself that I'm going to view myself only the way God views me. And that's all that's important. It doesn't matter what other people think, because you best believe everybody has an opinion about the way you look. You're going to be too skinny to someone. You're going to be too fat to someone. You're going to not have the right clothes on. You're not going to have your makeup right. All of that. Your image is never going to be perfect for everyone. So you just need to just be who you are and view yourself the way God views you. But see, of course, me being a psychologist wants to know, where did it all come from? Why have I grown to not view myself the way God views me? And you know what? Very that day when I asked God to reveal that to me, and sometimes that's not important to people, but was to me, this little small story or image came to me very quickly. There was this little girl that I went to school with, and her name was Camille. I remember her name. And she was a pretty little girl. We were in second grade and went to a Catholic school. And she was just so pretty, and she wore the best clothes, and it seemed like nothing was ever wrong with Camille. And another thing I remember about Camille is that her father brought her lunch every day, and he brought her Burger King. Now, you do know that I'm telling the story from a 7 year old's perspective, and I bet you her father didn't bring her lunch every day, and I bet you he didn't bring her Burger King every day. But in my 7 year old mind, her father brought her Burger King every day, and it was folded up in this so nice and neat, and he brought it to her, and he sat it down and watched her open it, and she ate it, and he loved on her. That is a crazy story, but that's the way I remember it. And as I remember Camille and her lunch that her father brought her every day with her perfect outfits and her perfect hair, God said to me, that's just the way I take care of you. Every day I provide you everything you need. And he said, do you think that father brought her those lunches to her because of the way she looked? Absolutely not. He brought her that lunch because he wanted to provide for her and he loved her. And God said to me very quietly, I love you just the way you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter your weight. I'm going to provide for you every day. You don't have to be a certain way. I'm not going to look at you the one day and say, oh, you weigh this amount, I'm not going to provide for you. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do it. And I just felt so comforted by God that I knew then and there that I only have to view myself the way He does. He loves me no matter what. He loves me no matter how many mistakes I make. He loves me if I look great one day and not great the next day. He loves me no matter what. So please, I encourage you today to look at your life and see in what ways are you not viewing yourself the right way? Or what ways are you not treating yourself the right way? Your idol might not be image, your idol might not be the scale, but it might be something different. It might be you're overdoing things at work. You're a workaholic and you're overdoing it because you're wanting to get a certain need met that you won't get met from being a workaholic. Or you might be overdoing things at a PTA or part of your parents group. Or you might be overdoing it in the area of any number of things. I'm blanking right now on all the different idols that we carry, but any of those, if you're overdoing anything in your life, it means that those things are being held in higher esteem than God is. And anytime you find yourself overdoing something in life, it means that you are out of balance. If you find yourself frustrated, you find yourself disappointed all the time, you find yourself falling into depression or anxiety, you're out of balance. Because God says that He will give us peace that surpasses all understanding, and that's in every situation. He will give us joy overflowing. So if you're finding yourself again out of balance, you need to check yourself and you need to go to God and pray to Him to release you from the things that keep you from being in perfect peace, that keep you from being happy, that keep you from being joyful, because that's not the life that He wants for you. He wants you to have an abundant life. And I believe right now, as I talk to you and the way I felt for the last week and a half, I know that God has delivered me from every childhood issue that I've had. Everything that I have believed about myself that is wrong, God has delivered me from. So now I'm no longer living my life from that wrong belief or that lie that I have to be perfect before people. Now my new belief is that God loves me no matter what, and that I only have to view myself the way He does. Can you imagine how different my life is going to be now, knowing that that is my truth? I'm telling you, it's going to be an amazing life, and I thank Him that at the end of this year, that I'm a new person and that I can walk into 2011 being totally brand new. Do you want that for yourself? Pray to God. Ask Him to reveal to you what sort of things that you still carry from your past that make you not live the best life that He has for you. If you pray, He will reveal it to you, and He will show you how you need to be in this life and what things you need to believe so that you have your best life, so that you are now ready to change the world, and you're now ready to be a huge influence on those people that are in your immediate vicinity, and those who encounter you just briefly, you're going to end up changing their lives. So I just thank God for what He's going to do for you, and I'm so excited about your future. Take care. I would love to hear from you. Please post your comments or email me at info@drcelesteowens.com, and just have a blessed rest of the year, a great holiday, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Take care.